If you are tuning in, hi. I am desperately trying to get this going and I cannot figure it out. It's sideways again. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to go with it because that's what people do. Right? On my phone it looks fine, but on this computer it is sideways. Okay, so we're going with it. I can't figure it out. I'm obviously very technology deprived and have no clue what I'm doing. So today's card, let's see here. Can I show it to you so you see it straight? Is this one here. We did it last Friday at my holiday catalog. Oh no, this way. Holiday catalog party. It was a lot of fun. We had a bunch of ladies and just played some games, and I had some door prizes for them, and lots of laughs and giggles, and I think they all had fun. I certainly did. We did this card. Normally I keep my cards a lot simpler for my parties, but I really wanted to showcase this stamp set, this bundle, in all its glory, and I felt it just needed to be done well. And I normally don't keep them this intricate and with this many steps, but the ladies did just fine. They handled it like pros. So this is the card I'm going to show you today. Let's see if I can do everything sideways so it doesn't look upside down to you. And let's see here. It uses the Hearts Come Home stamp set, which is really nice. I like it because it has really nice sentiments. I'm always a sucker for sentiments. And it coordinates with the Hometown Greetings edgelets, which when you open it, comes with 3 beautiful scenes, intricate scenes. If you count that one, then it's technically 4. Some stars and a tag topper with a cute little heart at the top, which is unique. Normally it's just a circle. So my card today starts off with Knight of Navy cardstock in the background, and the card is, or the cardstock, excuse me, is cut to 5.5 times 8.5 inches, and then it's scored at 4 1/4. Okay, so then we get our card, and cutting it that way, you actually get 2 perfectly cut cards from one sheet of cardstock, which is really nice. Then what we have is our Whisper White cardstock, which is cut at 5 1/4 by 4 inches. So that's usually kind of my base layer that I use anyways, that size, 5 1/4 by 4. And what we're going to use is the church scene, which is this one right here, the one with the steeple. Okay. And we're going to use a Big Shot, which I have to bring up. Get that out of the way. Okay, this is my Big Shot. I'm sure that's pretty close to you guys. Sorry about that. So the key to this, when you cut the Whisper White, is you're going to want to cut it as close to the top as you can and flush to the left. This framelit is pretty much made for a card to go like this. It fits perfectly that way, but I really wanted to have a horizontal card. So make your steeple almost flush to the top and flush to the left of your card. Okay, and I'm using my magnetic plate, which I love. It holds down my framelits nicely. And I hung up on you. Sorry, Joanna. I still can't get it right. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm obviously doing something really wrong. I tried it, I think, 4 or 5 times. Thank you for your patience. And sorry that this is upside down. Or sideways, I should say. And because it's so intricate, I'm going that way, and I'm going to go back the other way. So I went once and then twice. When you take your Big Shot apart, oh, this is so interesting. Okay. Very carefully, you're going to take the framelit off. Okay. And you're going to say, my card has an extra house. And I would say, yes, you're correct. My card has an extra house. So what we're going to do is then take the smaller houses in the same framelits. I hope you guys can see this, which is this one here. Okay. And this is the house I want. I mean, you could leave it like this, and some of my ladies did. You could just cut scissors and cut it across and be done with it, and that's just fine. But I thought it was a little, empty, and I wanted to fill it a little bit more. So what I did is, there's a little lip on this. That's what actually cuts. So I lined up that little lip with the cutout line there, and it kind of just sets in there nicely, like that. Okay, so it's gonna go back on my big shot. Oh my gosh, ladies, I'm shaking. This is how much these Facebook Lives do to me. They make me so nervous. Okay, so we're gonna sandwich it up and go once, and then go back, and then take that off. And once we take our house up, ta-da! We have an extended scene. Oops, just be very careful that tree's on there only by a little thread, literally. Okay, we're gonna put that aside. Okay, so this is our scene, okay? And I'm going to use, oh dear, what did I do with it? Oh, there it is. This little brush, okay? This is very neat. It comes with a sponge that you can actually set the paper on and roll over it, but I never use the sponge, quite honestly. I just put my hands behind the spot that I need to poke the little details out, and I'm not very gentle about it, as you can see. And I'm just gonna roll over all those little details, and they're gonna slide right out. I sometimes even kind of, like you would scrub, right? And that one's being a little stinker. So I'm gonna take my snips and just poke out that little hole. Thanks, Becky. Hi, Jerry. I'm sorry I'm crooked. I can't figure out this technology, so just bear with me. I'm trying to make it so it's not crooked for you guys. Okay, so that's our little scene. And it did cut in a little bit over here, which you could take scissors. It actually cut in more on my card that's done. You could snip that off if you want. It's just a little bit. Okay, so we're getting there, right? Next, you're going to take a scrap So Saffron. This is, let's see here. This is 2 3/4 by 4 1/2. It's more than plenty. You really don't need a whole lot. And this is where you just need some patience and some time and a steady hand, which I don't have right now. Thanks, Jerry. Appreciate the encouragement. So what I did is I just put it behind the building that I wanted the lights to shine through. Okay. Come on. Can you see what I'm doing? I don't know where you are. Okay. How about that? And then I took my snips and I just kind of eyeballed it without cutting my house. So I just kind of eyeballed it. And here's the thing, like if you cut the yellow too much or not enough, you can go back and start all over again. You're not actually gonna hurt the actual scene. I gotta cut this smaller. Does that make sense? It's so weird talking to myself. This is just the weirdest thing ever. Okay, so there we go. So then I see like there's a little bit still sticking out there, and I just come behind it and trim it off. Like so. See, it's still showing. You gotta trim it a little. It needs a little haircut. Okay, like that. Okay, and then I just trim the back a little bit. Garbage, garbage. Okay, so then that's one. And then what I did is I just glued from behind. So I'm using liquid glue. And I just put little dots. Doot, doot. And then because now I have no clue how this fits on my behind my building, I'm actually going to glue it this way, which I think was something like that, maybe. Ta-da! Okay, so then you would move on to the next house. Take your piece of paper again, your scrap So Saffron, which is the lighter of the yellows. And this one I found was the hardest house to do because it's got that little chimney there. And you're going to go down again, trim it just a little bit. Just easier to work with if it's trimmed. And then, you know, ladies, how when you are watching a cooking show and they're like working so hard and diligently, and then they put it in the oven and they pull it out and it's all done? And it's like food magic. Well, I'm about to do some card magic. So trim this down. You get the idea, right? I just eyeball it, really. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no, like, you can see there's no rhyme or reason to that. Okay? So, my card magic is, ta-da! So this one I did earlier, so you wouldn't have to see me fussy cutting because it's It's not my strength, that's for sure. So I just cut saffrons behind them, put them in. No big deal, right? Next, you could leave the trees white, which I actually really like. I like the look of a white tree. Or you could make them green, like this one. To make them green, you're just going to take your Big Shot back and take that original framelit that you used. And I can't see, I don't know if you're seeing this. I hope you see this. Oh, that's not the right one. Watch me not be able to know where I put the other one. I don't know where I put the other one. Oh, there it is. Oh, ladies, I'm a hot mess. Okay, so you just need, you don't have to cut the whole scene. You just need to be able to cover both trees. Like so. And run that through that way, and then run that through this way. Okay, so then we're going to take this off, and we're left with a half a scene. But then we're going to take our little scissors here, and we're just going to nip off the trees. Ta-da! And we have our trees. One's a little bigger than the other, so make sure you glue the right one on the right one. And again, I'm going to use my liquid glue. Just put a little there. Oh boy, I don't know how long I've been doing this. I probably should be timing myself because I don't want to take forever. Okay, there's one tree. And see, I'm shaking. I can't even get that on straight. And the other tree. Okay. Ta-da. So finally, we're going to add some snow because this is a winter scene, and I thought it would just be fun to make the white snow. So we're going to use the Softly Falling embossing folder, which mine is well loved, as you can see. And so my dots are the negative. So my dots are going in. You could make the dots coming out. It's all depending on how you put them in the folder. So just feel the folder. If the dots are like indented, then you're gonna, and I put my scene against them, then I'm gonna have dots sticking out. Oh my goodness, I'm sure that's so confusing. But does that make sense? Like this side is rough. So if I put my scene against the rough side, I'm gonna have the negative impression like I have here. Or if I put it against, like, it's the smooth side, I'm gonna have the snow sticking out, which I want. Actually, I wanted it with this one and I didn't do it right. So we're gonna make this one exactly how I wanted it. So I just cover up. I'm not gonna cover the whole scene. I'm just gonna cover up the bottom part that I want with snow. And let's see here. I'm gonna pull a Big Shot again. Oh, that thing is so heavy. And I just have to change platforms because the magnetic platform doesn't work with that one. So work my snow, make sure I get it all lined up. And I'm actually going to put it in this way because I don't want it to accidentally ruin my steeple or my buildings. And I always say, just show it who's boss. Get right in there. Okay, bye-bye Big Shot, no more. Oh, that is a clunker of a thing. Okay, so once we open this, I can get out, there we go. Ta-da, we have our snow. So that's the indented one, and this is the puffy one. Okay, so next, and last but not least, this is going to be interesting to do on video. Why do I pick these ones? I don't know. Okay, so we have our Night of Navy, and we're going to heat emboss our sentiment, which is the joy to the world sentiment. And that was my Big Shot falling because I don't know what I did with my Versamark ink. Of course. Hold on. Hold on, ladies. Hold on. Oh, there it is. See? I moved everything around trying to fix my camera here, and I lost it. Okay. So, set that aside, set that aside. This is our embossing buddy. It's like a little cushion of like powder. I'm not exactly sure what's in it, but it like leaves a white residue. So whenever you want to heat emboss, you just want to rub your cardstock with that because it takes away all the static. If you don't do that, the embossing powder will actually cling in other spots of the card besides your sentiment, and you'll have like little dots all over the place. Okay, so we're using the Joy to the World stamp and Versamark ink. Okay, we use Versamark because it stays wet longer, and so it gives us time to like sprinkle the embossing powder on it. So get it nice and juiced up. And I think I want it, you know, like, let's say there. Push down. And you can't really see it because, well, maybe you can. It's like just watermarked. Just leaves like a very subtle impression on it. Now this is how I store my embossing powder. This is what I find works for me. Right here. It's just, actually, I got this at the dollar store of all places. So I just put my embossing powder on one side and a scrap piece of paper on the other. And I hold my card over it, and I'm going to generously sprinkle powder on it. Okay, my world is a little smudged. But we're going to go with it because I don't have a plan B. Sometimes you can kind of... No, that ruined it more. You know, this is what happens when you do things on live. Okay, so what we're going to do, ready? We're going to wipe this off, and we're going to do the other side. Because I can't in good conscience leave it like that. Okay, hopefully this one doesn't... Oh, you know what? Hold on. I didn't do my embossing body. I'm going to have spots everywhere. Oh, ladies, I'm sorry this is taking so long. Oh, thanks, Sherry. I actually got it at the dollar store. Okay, so... Ta-da! Did that go back? Oh, much better. Okay. See, it's on the back. You know, no one will ever know it's there except you and I. So now that, you know, we're doing this again, see how much nicer that came out? Beautiful. Oops. So once it's pretty well covered, I kind of blow on it sometimes to get some of the specks off, or sometimes I'll tap the back of it and it just gets off some of the excess. Okay. This is a great way to stamp white on a dark color, or white on any color. And then we're going to use a heat tool. These things are pretty potent, so just be careful. You're going to turn it on, and you want to hold your fingers far away from it as possible. It's going to get noisy in here because this one I didn't do my magic card trick with. So hold on. We're going to get pretty close, and it's actually, I don't know if you can see, it's actually going to kind of solidify. And well, actually, I guess it kind of melts. The powder kind of melts. I don't know if you can see that. And as soon as it gets shiny and all melty, you know you're done. That's funny, Joanna. I can't even in good conscience give it to someone on the B list. That's funny. Okay. So we're done, ladies. Now all we have to do is glue. So, oops. I'm going to put adhesive, 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 and then don't forget your buildings need adhesive, and your little trees need adhesive. And then, oh, hold on. Let's do it so you can actually see what I'm doing, since you're sideways. Push it all down. Whew! Oh, that's a good idea. Thank you, Jerry. Yep, you can use a clothespin to hold it as well, so you don't burn your fingers, because it will burn and it does hurt. That's for sure. So this is the one I did the other day. I actually like how this one came out better today. So thank you, ladies, for putting up with this. Hi, Giselle. With all my crazy antics. I'm sorry this is sideways. I promise you someday this will all get figured out. Today, I guess, just wasn't my day. Thanks for being my guinea pigs for my video number 2. I'm hopefully eventually going to be doing these weekly, believe it or not, if I can somehow get my act together. Thank you, ladies. Have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.